welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing Stigma by Marloong. Marloong. Something like that. Now before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled on some Manhwa, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. Now for those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to slut shaming, unsafe sexual practices, violence, gun violence, blood, assault, blackmail, harassment, gang activity, racism, theft, rape, anger management problems, self-loathing, suicidal ideation, suicide, child abuse, PTSD, and drugging, as these things do appear in the manhwa. Now, if that's okay with you, let's go ahead and get started. As always, let's start with a quick synopsis. Seiyun's life is shrouded in darkness. He has little to no hope due to the terrible trauma he's experienced at the hands of his guardian, Michael. The only way he can find any semblance of peace is by plunging into the dirty underbelly of the city he lives in, having unsafe sex with strangers, and confirming to himself what everyone believes: he's trash. He's come to accept this lifestyle until he runs into Boris. Boris is rude and standoffish, but when he finds a line to an open stall where Seiyun is being endlessly assaulted, he can't just walk away. Stepping to the front of the line, Boris fights off as many waiting men as possible. Once he's cleared them all out, he takes and warns Seiyun to a nearby hotel and lets him rest there. It's then that Seiyun admits that he wanted that to happen, which disgusts Boris. Still, Seiyun can't help being drawn to this bristly white knight. Seiyun is far from a damsel in distress, but could he still be someone worthy of Boris? First, let me get the art style out of the way. You guys, I hate it. I hate the boxy nature of the lines and faces. I hate the super dark coloring of the upper lips. I'm not a huge fan of how intense the black and white is, with very few gray tones in between. It's just not my style. The most tolerable design is Seiyun, but I'm still not a fan of his design either. It's just too boxy for my taste. It's highly unique though, which is a positive as it stands out among most of the standard pretty BL fare out there. On the story front, it's better. I love a good dark story. Escape into Oblivion comes to mind as one that's uber dark, but that I really enjoyed. However, where that one shined, this one's a bit dull. Every person is a rapist or an asshole. Everyone. The only exceptions are a few of Boris's friends, his sister, and his niece. Otherwise, everyone sucks, though to varying degrees. Boris is an asshole, but one with good intentions most of the time. Seiyun is an asshole, but he has to be just to survive. There's very little hope to be found in any of the characters, which makes this hard to enjoy. However, with that being said, my favorite parts of this entire series are actually the little moments of hope we do get to see. When Seiyun finally gets to experience another world than the one he's forced to live through in Elena's home, when he's spending time with Anya, the sections where Seiyun gets to interact with Anya and gets to live out some level of normalcy are heartrending, to say the least. I also love that eventually he gets a dog with Boris and they create their own little family. While most of the story is without hope and is excruciatingly bleak, it's ultimately about healing and renewal. We can all heal and live happier lives. I really appreciate that message after all of the darkness the story presented. While I would like to end this on a positive note, I have to talk about Michael. Villains are supposed to be bad. That's what makes them villains. Of course, some are worse than others, but Michael might be the most deplorable villain I've encountered. He saves Seiyun off the street, teaches him, raises him, and then when some goons rape Seiyun, Michael blames Seiyun for it. It turns out he wanted Seiyun but never acted on it. So he gets pissed at Seiyun for being raped and then rapes him himself. Then, as if that isn't enough, he sells him off to other people as he sees fit, which breaks all of Seiyun's trust in people. The person who cared for him when he had no one else betrayed him in the worst way possible. It's disgusting. He's definitely part of the reason I don't care for this series much, just because he's so nonsensical and cruel due to his insecurities. With all that being said, while working on this review, I did everything possible to avoid actually having to make this review. More specifically, I avoided rereading the story because I would rather read anything else. This was actually supposed to go up about 2 weeks ago, give or take, but I procrastinated so much on this particular work that it had to be pushed further and further out. So while I overall feel neutral about this, judging by how hard it was for me to do this review, I think it's safe to say I don't recommend it. It had good points, but the negatives completely overshadowed them. So, have you read Stigma? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know and comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!